Well, I shared it. Oh, not as good as Todger because I didn't think about tagging her or anyone. Oops. Oh, it's okay. Todger took care of it for me.
Hey, no, this is how social media works.
It's not my thing.
I know, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Okay, we are going to go ahead and get started.
Okay.
Good evening and welcome to TalkWrite. Tonight is a really special episode. For one thing, it's industry guest night. So we always, once every, I think, 4 months, Jordan, we have an industry guest on. And tonight we decided to invite some of the folks from NINC, Novelists Inc. So Nick, why don't you take over and introduce our guests for me?
All righty. We have two guests today with us. We have Mel Jolly, who is the conference director of the big conference that's going to happen for NINC. It happens every year down in St. Petersburg, Florida. And we also have Todra Candle, who is the programming chair for NINC, also the assistant conference director and a twice past president. And I should point out one more thing. Wayne Stennett is a once past president of NINC. So we've got a couple ex-preses here. So let me jump right in and before I ask about the conference, I think we should tell everybody what NINC is. Would either of you tell us what Novelists Inc. is and how many people belong to it? What do we do?
Okay, Novelists Inc. is the largest organization of professional novelists, I believe, in the world. I'm going to say in the world. Somebody can come and challenge me if not. It is an organization made up of exclusively professional novelists, fiction authors. We have, I don't know the current membership, but we're somewhere around 1,500, I believe. And it was established in the 80s by a group of intrepid authors who said that they wanted a place to join together to have a little bit of leverage back in the days of, agents and editors and so on. And for years they were completely trad authors, and then the 2010s came along, and suddenly those wild indies joined in too. So now we are a good mix of both indie and trad and hybrid authors. And we exist to be both a support and a source of education. And, we're really just a great group of authors who are really, really high tuned for success. And, you don't have beginners there because there are qualifications for membership. There are royalties and earnings qualifications in order to become a member. So our newsletters, our groups, our conferences all tend to be, fairly high level. We have a former central coordinator who used to say, we are the master class. And I like that. So that's us.
Excellent. Well, if somebody joins NINC, what do you do? What can you I know it's an organization. You probably get to jump onto forums and ask people questions and put your heads together. But do you have accounting advice or legal advice or general writing advice, technology advice?
All of the above.
Yeah, exactly. The great thing is that most of it comes from within the membership. So when we have an IO group that is email centric. We have several social media groups, mostly Facebook, and somebody will post something, and you have people from all different genres and experiences, and I'm going to say levels of success, for lack of a better term, who can come on and say, oh, this is what I did. This is what I would do. This was my experience. So you get a really wide range. We offer our members exclusive discounts on certain things. The industry guests and vendors will often offer discounts exclusively to NINC members. We have a monthly newsletter, which is, I think, just one of the greatest perks, because we have our editor changes out every 3 years, and our articles are just, very well curated, and they're planned months and months ahead of time and very thoughtfully chosen. And we have writers who are not just NINC members, but people all over the publishing world. But our biggest claim to fame, I think a lot of people don't realize that, we are more than a conference. We are a year-round support for authors.
Tadra, you mentioned the NINC newsletter. I don't even know if Wayne knows this, but one of the biggest boosts I got in my career when I started as an assistant was like around 2010, maybe. That NINC editor asked me to write an article about being an author assistant.
Wow.
And then it got posted publicly, since some of the NINC articles get posted then publicly. And I got just a ton of referrals from that. So it
Katie barred the
basically,
door after that.
yeah, it basically like made the beginning of my career when I was an assistant.
So I tried for a couple of years to hire you, but you weren't taking on any more clients.
I was busy. I was busy running
But
that
I
conference
do
that you got me
appreciate the
hired
referral.
for.
I do appreciate the referral. Aurora Publicity has been a godsend. They've just
Good.
taken all of the work. I mean, some assistants do this or that or this or that, but they have different members there that just take everything off my shoulder.
Mhm.
That's great.
And one of the nice things about the conference is, like, I've talked to the ladies at Aurora, over the internet for years, but to finally meet them in person and to meet Sam in person, was able to do that at the conference last year. So generally our industry is so virtual that when we finally get together and look in
It's
each
like
other's
it's
faces
like your
once a
old
year,
friends already.
I know. It's great.
Is Aurora coming this year?
No, they're not coming.
They're
this
not.
year.
Oh, shucks. I haven't met them yet. Wayne and my editor, Marcia Zinberg, will be coming. And it's a great place to sit down and have a beer with editors and designers and ad people and learn a little bit about everybody and get David Gauguin to buy everyone a drink.
I think that's what the Mosh Hour last year, that was really, really cool, because that put all the authors and in a more comfortable setting, a casual setting. And it was just fun. That was just so much fun. I'm glad we're doing that again this year.
Thank you for sponsoring it
It's
last year
gonna be
and
fun.
again this year. And the Meet Our Sponsors Happy Hour was a Tadra Candle brainchild.
That was
Because-
absolutely brilliant.
We said, what if we had a trade show, but like not boring?
What if
How
we- Yeah.
how
And it wasn't.
Fun, and let's throw in a bar too.
how
And
about snacks?
we had
How about
these
a bar?
we had these little teeny tiny palm trees on our table. Well, this year we're going to have real palm trees.
Ooh, I love it.
Wow.
I have a feeling that, like the gauntlet has been thrown, the bar has been raised. I saw Dan Wood from Draft Digital walking around, like taking stock of what everybody was giving away because it was our first year last year. So even though, we emailed everybody came in at different levels of, like, Ricardo from Reedsy had a table just like covered in sweat.
He was ready.
covered.
He was ready.
He was ready, and then you had other people that, missed the memo on a couple of things, but
Some people who forgot to bring a stamper or a
Draft Digital.
passport that we did, just
Yeah, we brought two, because you had, I mean, if you're a world traveler, you have to have an entry and an exit stamp.
Oh,
that's true.
smart.
true.
You guys were probably the only one who did that.
Yes, I bet that you
Yeah.
were.
So this year, more prizes, more snacks,
We're
It's,
proud.
Well,
it's gonna
more
be a lot of
fun.
fun.
Yep.
So let me jump in, and so we're obviously talking right now about the NINC conference, and although NINC is an organization with lots of resources for everybody, the thing everybody looks forward to once a year, maybe someday it'll be twice a year, but right now it's once a year, is the NINC conference in sunny post Labor Day, so it's not quite so crazy, St. Petersburg, Florida. So how long has the conference been going on at this location? And let us know a little bit about what it is, because we all know what it is, but
I was just going to ask that because the first conference I went to was 2016 and it was there at St. Pete.
Right.
When did it start there at Tradewinds?
A very good question. I believe, have we said, Mel, that it was 2012 that it started there, 2013? Has it been 10
Well,
years?
there was one year that it was at
Myrtle Beach.
M- M- Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, it was in Myrtle Beach one year.
Oh, okay. All right. So there was one year it was at Myrtle Beach, but sometime around 2013, 2014, we moved to the Tradewinds
Right.
at St. Pete Beach. So this was even before I started attending. I think my first year was 2015. But one of the things that's become very clear about the conference is that this conference has a beach vibe. You can no longer divorce the main conference from the beach.
From the beach, no.
Yeah, because people talk about the great connections they make at the tiki bar.
At the tiki bar.
You have to have a tiki bar.
Where the tribe meets.
Yes, and we have all these great roundtables in the evening, which get a huge amount of the attendees to come to, like 60-70%. And the first year we did the roundtables, which was a new event for us a couple years ago, I dramatically underestimated how many people were going to come to it because it was starting at 7 p.m. I figured they would all be at the tiki bar. But we have these great brainstorming tables divided by topics. Like Wayne has led a roundtable about, did we do Caribbean fiction for you? Or I can't remember, but
sea stories.
mystery, sea stories. Yeah.
Sea adventures.
Sea adventures. So we have these different roundtables where you can brainstorm with your peers. We of course have a bar at that event as well, but it's outside and it's breezy and it's beachy, and then everybody
last year we added something very important. Ice
besides
cream.
booze. Oh, ice cream.
That was a big hit last year.
You're right. You're
Absolutely,
right.
yeah.
They did. The hotel actually suggested, we have such a great relationship with the planning staff at the Tradewinds, and I think that's part of what elevates the conference too. But they rolled out these ice cream coolers. People could not stop talking about, it's like what you would see in the gas station, but they couldn't stop talking about how exciting it was to like slide the little window open and get their popsicle out.
It was cool. I mean, when you're at the beach, you got to do beach things, and that's one of them.
True. That's true.
We got a question on YouTube from Lauren Stewart. Yeah, Lauren Stewart. She asks, this is her first conference. Welcome to St. Pete Beach. When you get there, see me at the tiki bar. I'll buy you a drink. And she asks, when will the official schedule be posted?
Well, the overall schedule is on the NINC website. So in general, as far as like booking your travel, and as far as when our meals are going to be, when the Meet Our
I
Sponsors
think she
happy
means
hour
the
is gonna
schedule of
be.
speakers.
As a NINC member, Lauren, I'm assuming you're a NINC member, you got the NINC newsletter. Did that come out Tuesday?
It came out
Yeah.
today.
Came out
Came
today.
out today.
It came out today. And Tadra writes a lovely article that I have open. It's on page 6. And we listed our speakers and their topics as well as the sponsors that
But
we
you
are
left one out.
expecting. What? You're on there?
You left one speaker out.
One speaker.
Well, actually two.
These are only our.
These are only our featured.
Oh, okay.
These are our
Now you're gonna.
Right. These are our non-sponsored, non-industry guest speaker. These are
But if you want to peek behind the scenes, I think Wayne's saying as a sponsor, you might see him do a workshop.
there.
Yeah, this will be my first ever workshop, and it will be just like every other presentation I've ever given.
Amazing.
Completely off the cuff, unrehearsed, and there will be bloopers.
Entertaining.
The overall schedule with more details on it should be on the website by the end of August. Wouldn't you say that, Mel? By mid-August?
Yeah, as far as
Then the app should be up by the first or second week of September.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
The app is, I mean, that's such a godsend. I mean, when there's 3 different presentations going on, twice in the morning, twice in the afternoon for 3 days, it's hard to pick out the ones you want. But with the app, you pick the one you want for this hour and it's moved to your own agenda. And you don't have to worry about searching through which one of these did I want to go to. Oh, it's right over here on my agenda.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Great. It's really good. It's and it's wonderful for conference planners because we can also see how things are going during the conference and say, oh, you know what, this
Yeah, we
speaker
got to move this wall a little further.
yeah, we need to move this speaker to another room, and we can just change it on the app and push a notification. Everybody finds out, oh, okay, this is where I need to go this day. When you have a printed program, you really can't do that. And it's, it's a lot more awkward. So we love our app.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So for our listeners, we've got all these authors getting together, people in the industry, and yes, we're having our popsicles and drinking our Cigar City High Lie IPAs down by the Tiki Hut, and going and hanging out on the beach and eating all the big food. But one of the main things you're doing is you're going to these speakers, these conferences. So you have your coffee in the morning and hopefully a little breakfast, and then you wander into this long hall and you're like, door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3. And each chunk of time you might go, all right, I should go to the Facebook ads for this chunk, but then I want to go to the forensic guy who's going to tell me about blood spatter analysis for this chunk. And it's just wild. You get to pick you miss out on some things, but some of us have agreements with our buddies.
Yeah.
We'd be like, if you'll take
Team up.
notes on the blood spatter, I'll go get what Dave Chesson has to tell us about categories.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you've got the little the industry people in a little side room. And so sometimes if you want to like have a little sit down with Chirp or BookBub, you might have to sneak out of the conference and go over there. And it's just fantastic. You can keep yourself busy the entire time.
Oh,
Definitely.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely could. But there's also plenty of downtime, I will say. And that's something I think everybody loves, is that if you start to feel like, midday Friday, your brain is about to explode and you think I've learned all the things, you could just step out on the beach and you can go sit for 15 minutes. You can go get in the pool. It's so accessible. Everything is close in Tradewinds. I don't know how they do that it's huge, but you never feel like you're walking for 3 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unless it's your first time there, because my first time there, I literally was walking for miles just to find my room.
Well, yeah.
It's really big, but everything is centrally located. It's really convenient.
Yeah.
And so many different restaurants, and it's just a great place. I hope it never leaves.
It is. It's
nudge, nudge.
And Wayne, you are exactly right. And Nick too, the best thing, and the thing I advise everybody is you get there if you've come for the Uncon, which is the Tuesday before, you might be there by Monday. Not, you're there by Tuesday, Wednesday. You meet up with your people, you sit in the lobby and you look at the schedule and you break it up and you say, who's going to go here? Who's going to go here? And then you do all of your notes on a Google Doc. Everybody has access. They can see it in real time if everybody's looking at the same doc. And then, it's almost like having a clone. It's almost like having one of those Harry Potter time turners that you can be in all the places at once. Make sure that your friends are good note takers. I have.
Were you pointing at me when you said that?
I was not pointing at you. Because of responsibilities with the conference, I sometimes have to miss some of my favorites. So I have intentionally cultivated some really good note takers too.
She could be pointing at me because one time I was designated for a little group of 3 to take notes at one workshop, and apparently my notes were somewhat lacking.
But then on the plus side, there's a reporter at every presentation.
Yes.
The reporter is taking down in shorthand, almost word for word, everything that's going on. And then those are in the November or the October, no, not October, but
November,
December.
November, December. Yeah.
And really long, and just so even if you don't go, you can still benefit from the presentation.
Yeah.
And are the presentations,
you really need to go.
Are they recorded?
They are not. No.
They're not.
NINC policy that we do not record anything at the conference. So when we're really strict about that, what happens at Tradewinds stays at Tradewinds.
But is there a virtual component?
No.
to the,
For the
No.
same,
no, there's not.
And we're-
There was at 2020, but it was virtual for those who were attending. The presenters were virtual.
right, but there was nothing going out beyond. It
Yeah.
was still just for the in-person people. And there a lot of people say, well, why do you not do that? Well, because we are a conference that is known for our rules about recording and virtual and so on, our industry guests and speakers tend to share things that they don't share other places.
Right.
Mhm.
And so we like that. We like to be known as the conference where they can give us a nice.
Give us the secrets.
That's right.
Yeah.
We have heard the secrets. We have seen the births of many a,
We have.
getting support.
A
Solid.
lot of brand new ideas were presented for the
Mhm.
first time at NINC.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Randall
Yeah.
Wood was he was at NINC last year, although he wasn't there as a sponsor or member or guest or anything. He was just hanging out and talking to people and getting ideas, to make scribe count better. Whenever people like people get in the same room and start talking about something, just ideas fly.
Mhm.
And
I am
that's-
just going to
that's
say
one of
he
the
was
coolest
there
things.
as an industry guest, Wayne.
He
Just I don't want-
was.
I don't
He
want
was?
us getting in trouble. I don't want
Okay.
trouble. He was a registered industry guest, so
Okay.
But we have had other software companies tell us that they hear things at NINC and then they go back and they implement it in the software
Hmm.
and make the changes based on what they heard.
and I always say to people too, one of the great things is that what you experience at NINC isn't necessarily what you'll learn in the workshops, but they are awesome, or what you'll learn when you meet with an industry guest, also awesome. What you'll learn at a roundtable during NINC After Dark, again, wonderful. But you sit in that lobby and somebody sits down and you find out that this person has been in the industry for decades and has so much knowledge and so much experience. Or there's the you have Kevin Tumlinson from D2D sit down and you pick his brain for a little bit, or Carlin Robertson from BookBub, or Danielle from BookBub, or Damon from Book Funnel, and all these people are just milling around and they want the authors to talk to them. That's the other thing I have to always tell people. Just go talk to them. They want people to talk to them. And I think everybody at NINC is just so accessible. And, I've never seen somebody turn away, an author who wanted to come up to the table and chat.
I think that alone is more than recoups the cost of admission. I mean, when you can sit down and just casually talk to so many different people about different things and in this business, then hang out at the tiki bar and slam a rum shot and just get to know these people, and you find you have things in common and you open up to people, and then for long you've got a contact and somebody that you can talk to. Hey, I've got a problem over here. Can you help me with this?
Yeah.
And they'll go the extra mile to help out.
They will. Yeah.
Let me jump in here, because I think some people who maybe thought about going are now thinking, boy, we really should go. What is the status of registration? Because I know sometimes in the past blocks would open up.
Sold out.
Oh no.
Sold out.
And we will not be opening again.
Not be opening again.
Not
We
for
will not
2020.
be opening again.
So how can I ask how many NINC members have signed up for this one?
The conference registration caps somewhere between 400 and 450.
Wow.
Yeah, and we do purposely keep it, that's kind of small on the compared to some other conferences, but all this networking and everything that you hear Tadra and Wayne talking about, part of the reason that takes place is we have about a, hope I'm going to say this right, 1-to-3 ratio, like one industry guest for every 3 authors that's in attendance, which means everybody's really getting a chance to talk to everybody. And our bigger companies in the industry will send 3, 4, 5 people. Like Draft to Digital has historically sent several people. BookBub will send several people. I can't do the percentage on the top of my head. I was going to tell you what percentage of that is members, 75. There we go.
And
That math
Amazon's
wasn't
back
that
this
hard.
year, right? Amazon's back this year
I
too,
can
right?
neither confirm nor deny.
Yes, we can neither confirm.
Oh, okay.
Stay tuned, and I would say probably look at your NINC newsletter in July. And just a note about registration, something I've been telling everybody: if you are not a NINC member and you're listening and you think I really want to go in 2024, go on now and start the process of becoming a member, because we had a lot of people who thought that they would be able to get in 2023, because generally we've said, well, as long as you apply by May. Well, that is true, but we sold out in April. So, you really need to jump on it. Be a NINC member as of January 1st, 2024, so that when we open registration in March, you can just go right on there and just mosey into registration.
Now, a lot of people don't realize that it isn't just, you apply and they say, oh yeah, okay, no, maybe not. And boom, 1 week later you're in. Now it takes the membership committee has to vet the applicant, and then it has to be published in the NINC newsletter for 1 month, and then you'll be a member. So it could take 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, depending on what time of the month you apply.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So do it now, jump on, so you'll be all ready for next year.
Best advice.
I'll throw it out there. You tropical authors that wanted to do it, be ready to do it for next time.
Right.
As many people watching the show know, there is a loose connection between tropical authors and TalkWrite. If you looked at the logos, you might have figured that out. But there are 14 tropical authors going to this NINC, which is fantastic. Which means we need to get some swag, Wayne. I'm working on it.
And all 14 of them will be right there behind my table at the mosh hour.
And hopefully also a tea bar.
Drums playing. Nick's going to be dancing on the table.
Hey.
Well, we are supposed to bring conch shells. I've got my conch horn right over here. I can look at it.
Yeah, we're going
to blow at sunset.
Yeah,
we're going to do a sunset salute just before the dinner is served.
Love it. Well, and we should mention that for anybody who's on the fence, which you shouldn't be. The food at this conference is incredible. As somebody who, before I started working with NINC, I traveled to a lot of conferences as an author assistant, and most conference food was like some dried out chicken with some unrecognizable gravy over the top of it, and that was pretty much your meal every time. We have the best food at this event, and we have coffee breaks, and we have snack breaks, and we have breakfast, we have lunch, and on the last day we have dinner on the beach, and it is our beachside blowout, huge buffet. And I think Wayne's been waiting for several years to have the conch shell salute at dinner.
When I was president,
I'm excited.
I asked for a budget line item to put a conch shell on every table and got shot down.
You've been waiting, but it's going to be. We're
just going to do it.
You should.
And the cool thing is that at NINC we start off with a huge all attendee reception on Wednesday night, and then we have coffee on Thursday morning, breakfast on Friday and Saturday, lunch on Thursday and Friday, and then this big dinner on Saturday. And that's all included in your conference registration, which is pretty crazy when you look at the amount of food. Plus, now we also have snack breaks on at least 2 days.
Saturday and Wednesday.
Saturday and Wednesday, right?
We have snacks at the Meet Our Sponsors Happy Hour, which Wayne is sponsoring, which Down Island Publishing is sponsoring.
That's right. Plus the NINC After Dark ice cream and bar. And while it's not an open bar, there's always a sponsored punch, which is excellent. So, if you go hungry or stay completely sober for the entirety of NINC, it's not our fault.
That's right. That must be a personal choice.
It's not our fault. It's your choice. So,
I mean, with most of the meals included, and I think there's Wednesday dinner. No, Wednesday's dinner's covered. That's
Yeah.
finger food. So
It is.
basically it's Thursday dinner, Friday dinner that you'll have to do on your own.
Mhm.
And just about everything else is covered.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, because Saturday lunch is on your own, but we also have a snack break that day, and we have
Mhm.
breakfast. So if
Mhm.
you have a big enough breakfast and then you wait for the snack break, you're actually okay. But
And right
And-
there on the premises, you got an Italian restaurant, a
Oh.
seafood restaurant, a pizza place, and
Great. Yeah.
Runfish, great sit down restaurant.
Yeah, and we probably would be remiss if we didn't point out that we kind of, yes, Sunday morning is the wrap up for members, but on Saturday night, our good friends at Digital sponsor,
Karaoke.
and there is an open bar that night.
Yeah.
Open bar, it's karaoke. We don't know what the theme is this year. I've been pushing Dan a little bit, and he's been saying that he has some ideas. I'd like to know his ideas before we,
I
approve.
vote Pirates.
You vote pirate. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you talk to Dan, Talk to
Dan's
Dan.
gonna be fielding so many
So many suggestions.
suggestions.
And if you have never been to D2D Nink karaoke, you have not lived.
It's
Yeah, some of these guys, I mean, really sing quite
Mhm.
well.
Yeah.
I was floored.
Yes, it's true. It's true. We have some great talent that is beyond writing.
it's
So-
true.
So, I mean, you
It's
come,
one heck of a dance party.
you get there on Wednesday afternoon, and you are just going to have yourself a time all the way through Saturday night. And if you're a
Mhm.
member, Sunday morning, because, we have our meeting, which sounds boring, but it's not. It's always a good short meeting. Best meetings are short. And then Lou Aronica does a little something for members too, kind of summarizes the state of the industry. So in his
And-
own,
and-
If your flight's not leaving until the afternoon, you definitely want to come to the meeting. And that's when the officers for next year are announced and all the business. Well, there are no reports. Nobody ever reports anything.
we stare at them from the podium. Do you
Yeah.
have a report? No. Okay.
No.
Now I as a craft beer lover, I got there in 2019 to learn that I had missed the brewery crawl. What is that, and when does it occur?
Well, the great thing about the NINC conference is once you're registered, you get in the Facebook group. So Nick, if you haven't joined the Facebook group yet, you're registered for this
I
year,
think-
right?
Oh yeah, and I think I'm
Okay.
on the Facebook group. Yeah.
Okay, so in the Facebook group, this is the kind of question that you can ask the group, because the hub crawl, the brewery crawl, it's not an official NINC event, but there's a number of unofficial NINC events that are organized by other attendees.
Right.
So in previous years, Mark Lefebvre with Draft to Digital has organized that, and he'll just, like drop a link in the Facebook group to sign up on a spreadsheet or something, or somebody else might organize it. I went and enjoyed it thoroughly. I'm also a craft beer lover.
And a lot
we'll
of these
have to-
events will be also on the app.
It will be. Yes.
Yes. And now that we have the app, people can set up their own meetups. I think the Tropical Authors did something last year, right?
Yeah.
We have some genre meetups. We'll have people, say, hey, because the hotel rooms are also fairly spacious. So you can usually say, hey, there's 10 of us who write this particular subgenre. Everybody want to come and hang out and talk shop or something like that. But there's plenty of places to do it, even if you don't want to do it in your hotel room.
And is the NINC app available now?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet. Nope.
No, we usually open the app right at the beginning of September, and then you have like a 3-week flurry to get excited and plan your meetings or anything. We give you that truncated time period so you don't get bored and forget about the app.
Yeah, and it's good.
It's fun to see everybody get excited and get in there. And
I'm glad to see a lot more members turning it from a 3-day event to a week-long event. And we for the last 5 years, we've been arriving Saturday or Sunday before it starts and staying until Monday after, just to have a little bit of, tourist time.
Yeah.
When you're at the beach, do tourist things. Go to a tourist shop and dive bar and take walks on the beach and unwind.
And
The craziness starts on Wednesday.
for the people who don't want to, who maybe don't love craft beer, or I can't imagine who they are, but who want to kind of start the learning and the actionable items off early, we do have a NINC adjacent uncon that takes place on Tuesday before the conference, and it starts at 9 a.m. and finishes at 5, and it is we cap it at 50 people, and we just talk about, we start out every uncon by saying, what was your greatest takeaway from the last 12 months? What did you do right last year? What would you do differently? And then we just open it up and we talk about every publishing topic, from craft to promotion to newsletters to advertising to audiobook, you name it, translations. And there's so much knowledge in that room. It just really kicks everything off. And it's a great way. I kind of facilitate that. So I stand up in front and I just watch the friendships and groups form that I then see throughout the conference. It's very cool. So
that's marvelous. In the audiobook world, we have something, they're the awards called the Audies. But if you're not nominated that year, we have the Naughties. Those are actually probably just as well attended. We have like naughty t-shirts,
right? Maybe more fun. Yeah.
Oh, it's a blast.
Yeah, I'm sure. Oh, that's fun. I like that. That. So
let's see. I had lots of other questions, but we're at 7:07 here, Wayne.
Fire away.
Well, okay. I'm gonna throw a little interesting one. So one of the other groups, I don't know if it was the Alliance of Independent Authors or Authors Guild, came out with a sort of a treatise on their opinions on AI. And I wondered if that's something that Novelists Inc. is perhaps reluctantly having to face and come up with a response to.
We, the board has not, to my knowledge, come up with any kind of treatise on AI. We recognize, and I'm saying we as the conference team, not as and perhaps also as a member of the same group Wayne is in, the advisory council. After you've been president of NINC, you're rewarded by joining this lovely group of people called the advisory council, who we hold the institutional memory of the organization. So I'm not really speaking for them, but I'm just saying from the conference point of view, we recognize that there are strong opinions and strong feelings on both sides of the AI coin, and probably not accurate to say that there's only two sides to the AI coin. We will have some presentations this year on artificial intelligence. That is neither that we are advocating for it or not loving it. We think each author has to come up with their own feeling on it. And the great thing is that if you don't want to go to Nicholas Eric is going to be talking about AI at some point, and there's going to be 3 other options for you to go to at that time. You don't have to go to that one. And we're going to ask all of our members and attendees to just be respectful, just like we are with everything else. None of us are the same. We're trad, we're indie, we're wide, we're KU, we're contemporary romance, we're mystery, we're all, we can all get along. And I think that AI is going to be the same thing, that we just have to recognize that it's a tool. And if some people, choose to use it, that's their walk and not ours. Or if that's what you don't, if you don't like it. So, as I said, not an official NINC stance, just the conference stance.
And a fine job of walking the line.
Thank you.
You notice how I let Tadra fully field that one. You go right
I was
ahead.
president in 2020. I always say to people who say to me, "Oh, I'm sorry," around registration time, people say, "People are so mean about registration. I'm so sorry about this." And I say, you know what? I was president in 2020. Nothing they can say. I couldn't do anything right. Bring it on. Bring it on.
So you got anything else, Nick?
Well, do we have any more questions from YouTube? We had the one. No,
nothing at all.
Just we've answered everything.
I think all our cohorts at TA are at the bar. We switched we had to switch from this show has always been on the first Monday of every month. But during this past semester, Jordan had classes until 5 or 6 o'clock on Mondays. So we switched it to Tuesday. Well, she's finished school now, so we're back to Mondays.
Oh,
And next semester is classes on Tuesday and Thursday too, right? So we're good until at least the spring semester.
Nick has his little friend. Look.
That's
oh
right. I have to
my.
speak. Yeah, Momo will be at the NINC conference
Hi,
Hi, Momo.
because they have a whole little dog park at this place.
you do. Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
Oh,
Trade Winds
Momo.
is pet friendly. They've gone pet friendly in all rooms now.
Wayne, your dog was at the conference last year.
She passed a couple of months ago.
I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
you
it's
have a
really
new
sad.
addition. I've seen pictures.
We have a new little puppy. Yeah. Her name's Millie, and she's 13 weeks old and just a little mutt, rescue mutt.
Sweet.
Oh.
So,
Well, Mel
yeah,
and I,
well,
roommate.
Momo will have somebody to play with or
Well,
chew
we're
on.
trying-
Well, or chew on.
Mel and I are trying to persuade our third roommate to bring her very sweet puppy as our emotional support animal for the conference, because she's a very chill dog. He's a very chill.
Mhm.
Who knows?
Yeah, I just kicked 2 of my pets out of the office during this interview because they were, one was meowing loud, the other was chasing him, and
Can't
chaos over
Well,
here.
From the time that Kimmy passed away to the day that we got Millie, it was 45 days. And that's the only time in our married life that we haven't had at least one dog in the house. You, for the
That would
most part,
be-
it's been 2 and 3.
Wow.
So
That would have been an odd experience.
it was. And yeah, we were brokenhearted, but we just had, too much right there to not
Mhm.
have a puppy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, I think I'd go with a year-old dog because puppies are a lot of energy, man.
I
True.
haven't had a puppy since I was 4 years old, so
Oh my goodness.
I think I'm due for a puppy.
All right. On that, unless you got do you have anything else, Nick? Anything?
No, I think closing on puppies is hard to beat.
I know, right?
Great. Yeah.
All right. Well, Tawdra, Mel, thank you both for being on here. And
Having us.
anybody interested
thank you.
in joining NINC, it's www.nincninc.com. And just go there, fill out the application, submit whatever's required. And in a couple of months, you'll be a member. And when registration comes around next year, you'll be able to jump right in.
Absolutely.
And
We'll look forward to
join
seeing
us at the Tiki Bar.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Definitely.
we'd like to thank our sponsors and supporters, Down Island Publishing, Down Island Press, Tropical Authors, How Not to Sail, Latitudes and
Pirate Radio.
Attitudes, and Pirate Radio. Yes. I just needed that last one. I just needed that last little push. But yeah, thank y'all for being on, and good night, everybody. Oh, but
Good
don't
night, everyone.
close out when
Yeah, we get to talk about the audience when we go away.
we're saying goodbye to the audience.
Goodbye, audience.